Welcome to Buranam in Thailand for match day 1 in Group J of the AFC Champions League as the two-time former winners Guangzhou FC take on Cerezo Osaka from Japan. Well, it's an interesting group. We'll see the other two teams in action a little bit later on. Port FC from Thailand and Kitchi from Hong Kong. But the home of Buranam United FC playing host to Group J in this AFC Champions League group stage is the Thunder Castle, as you can see, as it's affectionately referred to. Very warm day here today, 34 degrees, 41% humidity at the moment, just a little bit of light breeze around. We know conditions in Thailand are going to play a massive part over the next few weeks in this AFC Champions League group stages. But of course, all eyes on making it through as one of those 8 teams into the knockout stages a little bit later on in the year. Guangzhou come here with a very young team. Had 1 or 2 COVID issues in getting players from China, the Chinese Super League in action at the moment as well, but Cerezo Osaka currently sitting 12th in the J-League. It's not been a great start to the campaign for them, just 6 wins in 18 matches so far for Levia Kulpi's side, but they will hope to utilise their experience and take an early 3 points in the competition in the opening match. A reminder, 20 teams in each section, east and west. We already know the destination of 8 places from the western section. Another 8 teams will join them. The 5 group winners and 3 of the best runners-up will make it through to the round of 16. Guangzhou, despite the inexperience of their team, are vastly experienced in this competition. A 10th appearance in the AFC Champions League. And the only Chinese team to win it twice in 2013 and 2015. Cerezo booked their place in the group stage. They should have played a playoff match against Melbourne City FC, but after the Australian teams decided to withdraw from the competition, Cerezo went straight into Group J. So alongside Port FC and Kitchi. That game coming up a little bit later on in the same stadium. It is double headers. There'll be a couple of hours between the games. Be a little bit cooler in the evenings. But we're still expecting a good showing from both these teams. All the social distancing measures in place, of course. The teams are in bio bubbles in their hotels. All the teams staying in the same hotels with all the officials. Teams arriving on 2 buses these days as well to make sure there's plenty of distance on the buses between the teams. All the protocols in place, but it means that we do have football, although no spectators in Thailand. We are using a couple of venues in Uzbekistan for a couple of the groups. 3 venues in Thailand. This in Buranam in the lower northeastern part of Thailand. So the home of Buranam United FC, who themselves have made plenty of appearances in the AFC Champions League, not in the competition this season though. Stadium that holds just under 33,000 when it's full to capacity. It's the 40th edition of Asia's premier club competition, the 19th in its guise as the AFC Champions League. It was the AFC Champions Cup prior to that, now following a similar format to most of the confederations around the world. Teams in the group stage increased from 32 this year up to 40. Hence, you don't finish second and qualify for the knockout stages anymore. You have to still perform. 2 teams won't be going through, even though they'll finish second. As the Qataris Al Dahail found to their cause, they had the top scorer in the western section, Michael Alunga, with 9 goals, but they didn't make it through. So a win in your opening game is vitally important. It can psychologically get you off to a great start to sit on top of the group. Teams will play each other twice over the next 3 weeks. Cerezo in the white nearest the camera. It's a very strong squad that they brought here. Levier Kulpi knows that it will still be a tough game against a Guangzhou side that are relatively unknown. But he'll just be focusing on trying to get the 3 points for his team. Teams line up and face each other these days with a round of applause to show their appreciation rather than the traditional handshakes we're so used to seeing around the world. Guangzhou have changed their name this year. They were formerly known as Guangzhou Evergrande, just known as Guangzhou FC now. There's the captain there, Chen Qinjiang. At 20 years of age, he's one of the oldest players in the team. Guangzhou did play in the group stages last season. They finished third behind Vissel Kobe and Suwon Blue Wings. And they'll have to go some to better that this year. Li Ziyu is the man in charge. He's normally the assistant to Fabio Cannavaro in the main team. He's the man in coaching. The oldest player in the starting lineup is Chen Rizhen at just 21. The rest of the side is made up of 19 and 20-year-olds. And they do have a number of 16-year-old youth team players in their squad. I'm sure we'll see plenty of squad rotation as these games wear on. Referee is from Bahrain, Nawaf Chakrullah, who is an official at the 2014 and the 2018 World Cups. He was also in charge for some of the Western section games, and he took charge of Guangzhou's 3-1 defeat to Vissel Kobe last year in Qatar. Well, it's a strong Cerezo side selected by coach Levier Kulpi. Just one change from their last J-League match at the end of May. The Brazilian Dankler hasn't made the journey to Thailand. The experienced Toshiyuki Takaki comes in, and he will go into that midfield four. It could well be a 4-3-3. It could well be a 3-4-3. Certainly in the last match, they played a 3-4-3 with Marahashi and Riku, the two overlapping fullbacks. Confirmation of the players on the bench. The squad sizes have been increased from 25 to 30 for this competition to allow for any COVID issues, and plus the fact the games have been played in quick succession, just 3-day break between each game doesn't give the sides much time for recovery. Referee's lost his badge just for a moment. He was in charge of a couple of World Cup qualifiers recently. Australia against Chinese Taipei, one where the Socceroos ran out 5-1 winners. Jin Hyun Kim is the goalkeeper for Cerezo Osaka. So the opening match in Group J, it will be Guangzhou in the red shirts to get us underway. They'll kick from left to right in the first half. It's gone a little bit overcast here now, which is just going to add to the humidity. It's up to around 41% just a short while ago. Temperature up in the mid-30s. And we're underway. This inexperienced Guangzhou side. So Fabio Cannavaro, of course, is the coach of Guangzhou these days, in his second spell with the Chinese side. Man who played at 4 World Cups, but it's his assistant that's looking after things here, Liao Ziyu. Have played against each other 4 times in this competition previously. Guangzhou just shaded it, 2 wins, 1 win for Cerezo Osaka. They both won their away games in 2014 when they met in the competition. Cerezo winning by a goal to nil in Guangzhou, but the Chinese got their revenge with a 5-1 victory in Osaka. There's Aimu, on by Thiago. Thiago again, the Brazilian. Done behind by Ayumi, but comfortably cut out. Li Jiyu, been assistant coach for 3 years now. Did spend 14 games as Marcello Lippi's video analyst for the Chinese national team a few years ago. He's a man who knows the game very well. He's worked quite extensively as a video analyst. He was also technical coach of Hebei under Redi Antic. Well, the referee's given a corner here. Guangzhou thought it was a goal kick. It's gone against the captain, Chen Qinjiang. First corner of the game, Yusuke Marahashi will swing this one over. Zhang Jianji is the goalkeeper. It's a player gone down inside the penalty area. Foot in from Arakawa. Sakamoto trying to create space for the cross. He's done well here. Can't find the cross though. Cheng Xingfeng managed to get the ball away only as far as Okuno. Referee has spotted a push inside the penalty area. It's the big Australian centre forward Adam Taggart that's been penalised. There is Lever Kulpi. Fourth spell as coach with Cerezo Osaka. Played as a centre-back during his playing days. Goalkeeper, just a little bit of hesitation there from Jinxian. Will eventually ran out a player behind without any great problems. Everybody looking to depose the current defending champions, Ulsan Hyundai, who will get their campaign underway a little later on this week. Beat Iran's Persepolis in the final last season. Persepolis have already booked their place in the knockout round after the Western section matches back in April. Here's Okuno. Header in by Marahashi. Cleared away by Zhang Jihao. The entire squad for Guangzhou is under 23. There are 5 16-year-olds in the squad. It's helped on by Kiyotake. Sakamoto looking to take on Wang Qianzhang. Goes down inside the penalty area. Referee had a good view of that. No VAR at this stage of the competition. There will be for the quarter-finals onwards. It's all down to the referee's interpretation. Noah Shukrullah. Riku. Arakawa. Ayumi. Marahashi. This is an exciting formation that Cerezo play. They do like to get the wings back, backs forward. Sakamoto and Marahashi, I'm sure we'll see plenty of the ball. Here's Riku. It's blocked this time by Wang Qianzhang. Guangzhou won 2 of their opening 4 matches in the Chinese Super League. have just lost one of their top strikers due to the COVID pandemic. The Brazilian Paulinho, 74 goals in 176 games. Unable to travel back to China due to coronavirus restrictions. Won the AFC Champions League in 2015. Good ball across by Sakamoto. Yeah, the club, after consultation and with Paulinho, decided to cancel his contract, which he was bitterly disappointed with. Quick to pay tribute to the Chinese players and fans. We do live in very different times now, of course, with the pandemic and lots of travel restrictions. It's hooked away by Zhang Jili. Marahashi. Takagi. Ayumi. Chance maybe for Guangzhou to press forward here. Zhang Jili. Wasn't dealt with by Ayumi. Fan Hengbo couldn't take advantage though. Down this near side. Chen Rijin with the throw for Guangzhou. Huang Kezhao. Again, he felt he'd been tripped, nothing given though. The referee gives the free kick the other way. That was the initial challenge on Huang Kezhao. No foul given though. Osaka, based in western Japan. The Cerezo is Spanish for cherry tree, which is synonymous with that part of Japan. It's another great ball in. And a header from Sakamoto, which wasn't too far away. The first real chance of the game. And it's the Japanese that have created it. Nice little reverse ball. It was a great ball in from Takagi. And the header just too high for Sakamoto. Hasn't scored since May when he found the net against Vissel Kobe. Okuno. Marahashi. Low ball in, all could one. He just popped up for the goalkeeper. Zhang Jianji. Plenty of players making their debuts in the Guangzhou team. Just to give you an idea, of course, the players playing with squad numbers these days. The lowest number in the Guangzhou squad is number 40. That's the central defender, Zhang Jihao. So Guangzhou are the only Chinese team to win the AFC Champions League on 2 occasions. '13 and 2015. They were the first Chinese club to play in the Club World Cup as well, which of course is a reward for winning the AFC Champions League. Lost out in the semi-finals in both of those competitions. Beaten by Bayern Munich 3-0 in 2013 and lost out to Barcelona by the same score in 2015. Went on to lose the third place matches as well in both those competitions. It's well taken by Ransai. Ayumi. Marahashi. Little flick by Taggart. Nobody behind him though. It was Kiyotake that was trying to get on the end of it. Chase into the corner for Li Jintao. So Guangzhou were in a group last year, a tough one with Vissel Kobe from Japan and Suwon Blue Wings from Korea. They only won one of those group games against the Japanese. Finished third and failed to qualify for the knockout stages. Of course, the conclusion to last year's tournament was played in Doha in Qatar. The opening two group games had already been played under the usual format before all the restrictions started to come in. Harakawa. Thiago. Ayumi. That's a side that know each other well. Cerezo, they've played plenty of games together in the J-League. Marahashi. Okuno. Riku just took his eye off the ball for a second, managed to redeem himself. Kiyotake pushed out wide. Taggart racing into the centre. That will be another corner. Ricky Harakawa will spring this one on. Will swing this one over, rather. Coming to the end of his first season, joined from Sagan Tosu at the start of the 2021 season. Six wins in 18 matches in the J-League this season, down in 12th place. Cerezo at the moment, not where they want to be at this stage at the start of the season. They are currently on a 6-game unbeaten run coming into this. With a great ball in, free header! And in by Okuno for the opening goal. And he wasn't marked in the penalty area. And Guangzhou's inexperience at the back has cost them. The Iraqi Okuno gets the opening goal in Group J. Scored his last goal against Sanfrecce Hiroshima back in May. And he gets his side off and running in the AFC Champions League group stages. It was a fine header, but questions will be asked about the marking. Quarter of an hour gone. Well, he managed to get in front of the captain, Chen Qinjiang, and guided the header into the corner. Had to move a little bit, actually, to get on the ball as well. Straight away, Guangzhou trying to respond at the other end. Guangzhou did win the last meeting between the sides, 3-1 back in 2018. That was back in the days when the competition was played in a normal format, home and away. 0-0 when the sides met in Japan. Riku. Harakawa. Riku again. Cerezo have really started in positive fashion. It's blocked by Marahashi. Away by Chen Kunjiang. Taggart just a little bit slow to respond to that. I don't think he would have reached it in any case. Just to give you an idea of the Japanese domination in the opening minutes here, 82% possession already for Cerezo Osaka. It's cut out by Chang Jili. Chang Shifa. Chang Shihao. Harakawa. Nice ball. Taggart! Struck it well. Goalkeeper had his positioning right. Chang Xianqi. It was a well-struck shot by the Australian. Adam Taggart hasn't scored yet for Cerezo Osaka. It's only his 4th appearance. Scored 29 in 59 at Suwon Blue Wings. Had a great record in the K-League. Made his debut back against Gamba Osaka in the local derby back in May. Adam Taggart. Ayumi. Thiago. On by Harakawa. Riku rather. Riku does have a twin brother. Riki plays for Ventforet Kofu in Japan. Harakawa in towards Taggart once more. Might get a second opportunity, Taggart. Too many red shirts back behind the ball. It'll be a free kick. Right on the edge of the penalty area there. Foul by Harakawa. Well, it's a big chance for some of these young Guangzhou players who've been on the fringes of trying to get into the first team. Li Jiyu is a very experienced coach, as we said. Good foot in by Chen Rijin. Now, what can Guangzhou do here? Fan Hengbo hasn't seen too much of the ball out wide in the opening 20 minutes or so. A challenge on Sakamoto. Kiyotake. Good ball. Taggart just pulled away from his man. Chang Chi-hao goes with him. Patient build-up this from the Japanese. Another good-looking ball in as well. Flicked away before it could reach Takagi. It's a long ball. And a rare touch here for the goalkeeper, who's been a virtual spectator so far, Kim Jin-hyun. Named in Korea's provisional 28-man squad for the 2018 World Cup in Russia, the goalkeeper. Well, it's better in towards Hwang Keizu. Good defending though. One of the 19-year-olds in the side, Hwang Keizu. One of two 19-year-olds in the starting lineup for Guangzhou. It's a good challenge by Ayumi. Expected to be part of the under-23 team at the Tokyo Olympics. Ayumi Seko. He is the only Cerezo Osaka player that's been selected for the Tokyo Games. Japan will play South Africa, Mexico and France in their group games in Tokyo in, well, just over a month or so's time now. Once this tournament's over, players will be heading off to the Olympic Games. First corner of the game then for the Chinese. Will Jin-hyun's goal be under a little bit of pressure here? 5 red shirts in the centre, it's an in-swinger, but swings straight into the side netting. There'll be a brief hold-up here, there is an injury inside the penalty area. It's the captain that's down injured at the moment. Chen Quanjiang. Not a great corner. May not get too many chances to score, Guangzhou. Maybe set pieces that could provide them their best opportunities. Not sure he wasn't just clipped there by Thiago as he was making his way back. Had lots of foreign coaches, Guangzhou, over the years. The club's first foreign coach was the Brazilian Gilder Rodriguez back in 2000, but he only lasted 5 matches. Lee Jiang-soo from Korea, coach for a couple of years, won 49 of his 73 games in charge before Marcello Lippi came in. That was the sort of start of the big names. Luis Felipe Scolari. Either side of a couple of spells from Fabio Cannavaro, the man currently in charge of the first team. Another good-looking ball in, just too high for Taggart, comes out to Kiyotake, but he can't keep the shot down. Good play again from Cerezo Osaka. Much more purpose about their attacking play than their opponents. It was just a fraction too high for Taggart. Kiyotake's shot was well over the top. Taggart, like any striker, will tell you we will want to get off to the goal-scoring start. Did top scorer in the A-League for Newcastle Jets back in the 2013-14 season. Chen Rijin with the throw. Just runs away though from Cerezo. Well, it's all going to plan so far for Cerezo Osaka. That 15-minute goal from Hiroki Okuno. There's the difference between the two sides at the moment. They've been good value for the early lead as well. So the game's coming every 3 days. You're going to see plenty of players utilised by both coaches. Up to 5 substitutes can be used as well, of course. Guangzhou will take on the Thai side, Port FC, in their next match. Kichi will be the next opponents for Cerezo Osaka. Nice to see 2 Philippine teams in the competition this year. There was a playoff yesterday to decide the final place in Group F between Shanghai Port FC from China and Kaya FC Iloilo from the Philippines, and it was the Philippine side that came through to join their fellow countrymen United FC in the group stages. The first time we've had teams from the Philippines in the competition, well, certainly in the group stages. Single goal win yesterday. Tough group for them though. They go into a group with Pathum United, the holders Ulsan Hyundai and Vital from Vietnam. They'll be in action for the first time on Saturday. Games every day now in the competition up to the 11th of July. If you like your Asian football, then this is the competition to keep your eyes on. Takagi trying to get to the byline, nicely dragged back. Chen Quinjian, the captain, was there, and Taggart flying in with a header. And again, just off target, but he's proving a threat. Taggart, he's a good target man to have for the Japanese. Good workout on this near side by Takagi. It's a little bit too far out to this near side there, Taggart. Probably could have done with being a little bit more central. So because the temperature is plus 30 degrees, the players will come across and have a drinks break. Chance just to catch their breath and take some water on. It is a part and parcel of the modern game these days, of course, with the temperatures so high in this part of the world. There's the man whose goal separates the teams, coming on a quarter of an hour. Played 126 games for Galta Sendai, having started his professional career back in 2010. "31 years of age now, Hiroki Okuno. Normally playing pink shirts, Cerezo Osaka. There's the goal from Okuno. Change strip today of white with the pink trim. The pink going back to their nickname based on the cherry blossom that the club is based on. It's a very vivid sight. If you've ever been to Japan and seen the cherry blossom, it really is a sight to behold. Finished 4th last season in a season that was, like many leagues around the world, shortened due to the COVID problems. Here's Ayumu. Marahashi. Cerezo trying to turn, just trying to wriggle his way away from 2. It's Okuno, the goal scorer, that managed to get a foot in. Here is Okuno again. Riku. Sakamoto. Teasing Wang Jinjiang, or Tianqing rather. Played in 2 of Japan's qualifiers back in June. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto against Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. Do play such great technical football, the Japanese. That transfers over to the national side. Much can be said of the Koreans as well. We saw Pohang Steelers in action a couple of days ago. Very technical the way they stroke the ball around. Takagi tussling away. Guangzhou have managed to snuff out that threat just for the moment. Thiago will allow the ball to run out of play. Okuno. Kiyotake, lovely ball over the top. Just out of the reach of Taggart once again. He's offside. But it was a lovely ball over the top. Taggart playing off the shoulder of the last defender. Just mistimed his run slightly. You can just see. Good decision by the assistant referee on the far side. But Taggart's a threat. Can't take your eye off him for a second. Excellent movement off the ball, which is always the sign of a good striker. Getting themselves in positions to be picked out by teammates. So often you see strikers these days that are just static and wonder why the ball never reaches them. But when you've got great movement, you're always in with a chance. Marahashi with 2 wing-backs like Marahashi and Sakamoto. Remember the chances, one another great ball across, Taggart's header again. And wide of the target this time, that's his best chance so far. The wide threat coming from the Japanese. And it's the big Aussie that nearly benefits. Just held his run that time, dropped off his man to get himself that space. And it just skimmed across his forehead rather than getting the forward contact. Good effort. Marahashi. Riku. Sakamoto. Taggart again. Only half cleared by Chang Jili. Might drop here for Kiyotake. Good save. Chang Jianji had to react to that one. Got a good strong hand on it as well. Pressure on though. Back in again by Marahashi. Chipped in by Kiyotake. And the goalkeeper will prevent the corner. Well, he did brilliantly well there. Chang Jinji. Wouldn't have seen it till late. Just a reaction saved by the goalkeeper. Good strong wrist. Captain must have thought he'd given his side a 2-0 lead. Okuno. Harakawa. Still dominating possession. Cerezo Osaka runs away from Kiyotake. Ransai. Chang Jili. Goalkeeper forced to come out of his area, but ball eventually ran in his favour. Here's Okuno. It's been a fairly mixed bag for Guangzhou over the years. We mentioned they've won the competition on 2 occasions, reached the semi-finals in 2019. Lost to a Japanese side in the semi-final, Urawa Red Diamonds. In 2018 they went out to Tianjin Quanjin, another Chinese side on the away goal rule. Yumu. Now Marahashi. Nice ball in, allowed to run for Taggart. Holds the ball up well, trying to just feed it through for Harakawa. And the shot goes just wide of the target. And Harakawa bursting forward into space. Taggart held the ball up really well. Has only scored once in his last 24 games, Ricky Harakawa. Great hold-up play from Taggart. Just had to take the ball out of his feet, and the angle narrowed slightly. Just couldn't wrap his foot around the ball. It's well struck. Did take a slight deflection as well. So it will be a corner here. Players glad of some strategically placed water bottles around the pitch as well. It's very hot and humid. Plenty of movement in the penalty area. It's Thiago that went down. Takagi. Kuno, the furthest man back. Thiago's just staying forward for the moment. Kiyotake. No height on it, comfortably headed away. Now Thiago will make his way back into his defensive position, and then eventually, inadvertently, guides it all the way back to his own goalkeeper. Marahashi. Just runs out of play, beats Kiyotake into touch. Well, Leve Akulpi, I'm sure the 68-year-old will be pleased with his side's endeavours in this first half. They've dominated possession, but they've still only got the one goal to show for their troubles. Taggart's gone close on a couple of occasions. Saw that shot from Kiyotake a moment or so, from Harakawa rather, a moment or so ago, go into the side netting. Kiyotake was denied by Chang Jianji. Ball over the top, chase on for Huang Keiju. Comfortable though for Jin Hyun in the Cerezo Osaka goal, who hasn't had too many touches the ball, it's fair to say, in this first half so far. Thiago. Ayumi. Stabbed out to Marahashi. Okuno. Riku. It's given away. Huang Keiju trying to burst through, but 4 defenders around him. It really is a thankless job as a lone striker. Such is the formation that Guangzhou opt to play, 4-2-3-1. So the 3-4-3 that Cerezo Osaka employs is much more productive. Kiyotake, Taggart and Takagi, of course, plenty of problems in this first half for the inexperienced Chinese defence. Marahashi. Final 5 minutes of the first half then. Hiroaki Okino with the only goal of the game so far after a quarter of an hour. But the Japanese very much in control. Eight shots on goal, 3 of them on target so far. Just the 1 shot off target for Guangzhou in the opening 41 minutes or so. Marahashi. Okuno. Lovely ball out wide to Sakamoto. Riku. Sakamoto. Just in behind Taggart. Cut out by Ruan Sai. Here come the white shirts once again. Lovely quick feet. Shot took a deflection off Chen Guangzhou. And the offside flag has gone up somewhat belatedly over on the far side, but it's gone up all the same. Well, the flag went up, but the ball deflected off a Guangzhou defender, which in fact renders the two Cerezo Osaka players onside. There's a similar incident in one of the Euro 2000 group stage games a week or so ago, when the ball forward was, who it was now, but the ball forward played forward anyway, and the striker was in an offside position, but because it came off the defender, it brought him into play as being onside, which is what really should have happened there. But whistle went. Cerezo didn't seem to complain too much about it. Marahashi. Ayumu. Okuno. Kiyotake. Wide by Harakawa. Sakamoto, good ball in. Taggart's there again. And another header goes wide. Offside though against Taggart. Yeah, that one is offside. So no VAR for the group stage games. Will be VAR later on in the competition. Lu Jiyu. He's only 35 years of age. He looks like he could still be out there himself playing if he wanted to be. Was working with the Guangzhou first team when they met Cerezo Osaka back in 2018, so he was hoping to pass on some knowledge to his team ahead of the game in terms of their style of play. It's Thiago, final minute of the first half. Riku. Sakamoto. Thiago. Harakawa. Nicely taken by Riku, kept his eye on that one all the way. Trying to wriggle his way away from Liao Jintao and wins the free kick. Won't be too much added time at the end of the first half, maybe a minute or so. Yeah, Liao Jintao just blocking off Riku. A free kick and some defending to do at the end of the first half here for Guangzhou. It'll be Riki Harakawa that will take the free kick. 2 minutes to be added on. Forgot about the minute taking into account the drinks break. Danger here then. Taggart, I'm sure, will be the target man. Referee with the obligatory telling off for pushing and shoving. He's the tallest man on the field, Thiago. Overcomes the free kick, it misses out. Thiago. That's good defending by Guangzhou. Plenty of red shirts back on defensive duty. Looking to try and break here. Finds the lone figure of Varane side, but ball ends up back with the goalkeeper. I think it's evident the difference in the experience between the two sides. You can see the familiarity with Cerezo, Osaka, the way they play the ball around. These young players just need to try and settle in the second half for Guangzhou and see if they can create something. Just need some kind of a playmaker in midfield, someone who can really get things going for them. It's Marahashi. Ayumu. Kiyotake. Good ball on by Taggart. Fleck stays down this time, driven across. Important interception by Chen Quanxiang, the captain, because Takagi was right behind him and would have just walked that into an empty net. Flag up for offside. And the far side player coming back from an offside position as the referee brings to a close the first half that was played at a good tempo in the Suriname heat. But it was the experience of Cerezo Osaka that told over that opening 45 minutes. Hiroaki Okuno with the only goal of the game, a heading goal after 15 minutes. It was a good header as well. He had to make up some ground to guide the ball into the corner beyond Chang Jinji, the goalkeeper. But at half-time, it's Guangzhou FC 0, Cerezo Osaka 1.
He's like this. Yeah. Thank you very much. But not going too much inside. Only as much as he needs to, but he will have to go a little bit. Sure, no problem. I mean, 1 meter, 2 meters. He'll see the ball fit. He just needs to get the shot. No problem. He can see the players. A meter, 2 meter inside. You are talking about before the matching, right? Yeah, before the match. Before the match. When they walk in. When they walk in. So no problem. A meter, 2 meter, no problem. Yeah, no worries. Fast speed. Thanks for the fun.
Welcome back to Group J in the AFC Champions League. Cerezo, Osaka from Japan leading Guangzhou by 1-0 at half-time. Hiroaki Okuno with a goal after a quarter of an hour. Looks as though Guangzhou are making a double change at the start of the second half. Guang Liang is coming on for Cheng Feng. And Ning Hao Shu is the other player coming on. Once the fourth official can get his electronic board sorted out. Most of these players, as we say, are fairly inexperienced, most of them making debuts for Guangzhou, just waiting to get into their huddle for the next player to come on. And it is Huang Ke-Chao, the central striker, the man that's gone off at the start of the second half. Teams can make up to 5 changes, don't forget. That has to be done in 3 specific windows, not including half-time. Cerezo have made a change as well. It's Hirotake Tomeda that's come on for them. We'll confirm the player that's gone off in just a moment. Now we have Shukrala from Bahrain, the referee who will get us underway in the second half. It is Cerezo, all in white, or in the white shirts rather, kicking from left to right now in the second half. Well, that score graphic says 0-0. They do lead by a goal to 0. Early touch for Thiago at the start of the second half. This is Okuno, on by Sakamoto. Sakamoto once again. Kiyotake pushed out wide. There is the correct graphic. Long range shot, easily saved by Chang Jianqi in the Guangzhou goal. He was kept busy in that first half, made one particularly good save from Kiyotake, the Cerezo Osaka captain, the Guangzhou goalkeeper. Good strong hand. Just runs away from Riku. Reminder once again, it is 5 groups of 5 teams. Only the top team are guaranteed a place in the knockout stage. 3 of the best second place finishers will join them. Always a good confidence booster to get off to a good start. It's confirmation that it is Toshiyuki Takagi that's gone off, with Tomeda coming on. Marahashi. It's Tomeda, the substitute. Early ball in, followed away by the captain, Chen Quanjiang. Marahashi. No real height on the cross. They can't miss out the first man at the moment. The second time that Chen Quanjiang has intervened in the last couple of moments. Tomeda's already seen plenty of the ball since coming on. Kiyotake into Marahashi. Given away again, Kiyotake, lovely ball. Tomeda just manages to keep it in play. Punched away by Chang Jianqi. Good start to the second half for the Japanese. Guangzhou taking part in their 10th AFC Champions League. A record now. It's alongside the Chinese Beijing Guan, who are also taking part for the 10th time. Guangzhou don't have the best record against Japanese sides in this competition. That one just won in their last 7 games. Lever Kulpi there, the Brazilian coach. Chen Rijin The other two teams in the group will kick off their campaigns a little bit later on after this one is finished. Port FC against Kitchi from Hong Kong. Port FC from Thailand, of course. Good play again by Sakamoto. He's been impressive out wide. Clever back heel to Riku. Again, the ball, it wasn't great. It sliced off the boot of Huang Zhuanliang, the substitute. Two relatively young sides, these. Both started, well, both clubs were founded in the 1950s. Guangzhou won several second-tier titles before they turned pro in 1993. Cerezo were originally known as Yanmar Diesel. And in the 90s, they incorporated Osaka FC and changed their name to Cerezo Osaka in 2018. It's Tomeda again. It's been a good intervention from him, Tomeda, in this second half so far. He's actually making his debut, joined at the start of the 2021 season from JF United. Hasn't played in the J-League this season. In fact, hasn't played a competitive game since December 2020. Here's Marahashi, good ball in. It almost reached Taggart. Jiang Shi rather had to punch that one away. It's all Cerezo at the moment, much as it was in the first half. The possession sitting around 79% for the Japanese at the moment. Tomeda. Good pace once again, blocked away by Chen Raijin. And that will be a corner. Fourth corner of the game for Cerezo Osaka. Corner right to the back post, volleyed by Sakamoto, but volleyed over the top. All the attentions were on Taggart on the edge of the penalty area, who was having a real old tussle with Ruan Sai. Nobody picked up Sakamoto at the back post. By Xin Hyun. Tomeda. Guangzhou will face Port FC from Thailand in their next match on Sunday. Cerezo will play Kitchi from Hong Kong. Sakamoto. Chang Chi Hao with a Good strong challenge on the edge of his own area. Was Liao Jintao trying to make ground past Riku. Riku's claiming it should be a Cerezo ball. A couple of ricochets as that one went out of play. Challenged by Riku. There's a little tug back on Kiyotake, which will get a free kick eventually. There were 2 fouls in there. Ruan Sai quick to hold his hand up in apology. And that was the initial one. And then Wang Jianqing came flying in. Harakawa. Now Akuno. Sakamoto. That'll be a drop ball. Referee just getting a little bit too close to the action. It's a referee. He's a drop ball these days. If the ball hits the referee and changes the possession dramatically, referee will give a drop ball. Tomeda running straight into Nawab Shukrala. Sakamoto. Nice overlap again from Riku. Quality on the cross this time. Finds Taggart, but he can't get over the ball. And the header's over the top. Touch of cramp, I think, for Adam Taggart as well. But again, his aerial presence has been a real threat for Cerezo Osaka so far. Riku on the overlap. Just got there ahead of the captain, Chen Quanjing. But couldn't get the downward force on the header. He's edging closer. Away by Chang Xinji. Just in case you fancy a bit of a quiz question one night, there are 46 AFC member nations. Too sure too many people would be able to name all 46. That doesn't include the Northern Marina Islands, who joined in 2020. So effectively 47 now. It's like one of those quizzes where you have to name all the American states. Cross comfortably taken there by Chang Xinji. This newly expanded format this year, 40 teams up from 32. Reminder of the 8 teams that qualified from the western section. Istiklal from Tajikistan, Al Hilal and Al Nazar from Saudi Arabia, Sharjah from the UAE, and the nation that is always the powerhouse is Iran. Trakator, Istiklal and Persepolis, and Al Wada from the UAE. Al Wada, of course, who had to withdraw from the 2020 competition due to COVID, so a little bit of redemption for them making it through to the knockout stages this time around. Michael Olunga, the top goal scorer with 9 goals. Will any of the strikers in this section manage to beat that? Guangzhou Evergrande do have one of the top scorer in the group stages. Murray Kui scored 13 goals for them in the 2013 campaign. Another change here, Adam Taggart. I think suffering from a little bit of cramp we saw a moment or so ago, so they won't take any chances. It's going to be Yoshito Okubo that's coming on for him. So we have an Okuno and an Okubo now. Okubo scored 5 goals in the J-League this season. Scored 5 in 5 actually, having done 19 games without a goal. Maybe backing up the fact that a striker just needs to get themselves a goal to get things underway. He's 39 years of age now, Yoshito Okubo. Hour gone. Cerezo still leading by that first half goal. Here's Kiyotake. Too much on it for Sakamoto. Neville Kulpi showing how it should be done. It's a really exciting formation when you play the wing-backs. If the wing-backs can get forward to good effect. Marahashi and Sakamoto have done that so far during the course of the match. Sakamoto did well to stay on his feet. Okubo. Ayumu. Marahashi. Harakawa. Kiyotake. Marahashi, good ball in, just flicked away from Tomeda. That was an important touch. Tomeda was just waiting to nod that one in. He was unmarked. It's a good job it hit that first man. It was Chen Rijin, I think they got the header on it. Important one. Thiago. Pressure still on here. Riku. Sakamoto. Kuno. Nice little give and go away by Chang Chiao. Thiago. It may only be 1-0 to Cerezo Osaka, but it's a comfortable 1-0 at the moment. Guangzhou have threatened little, particularly in the second half. Still only had the one shot on goal. There's Marahashi. Great ball in. Well, Kubo didn't really get off the ground. Now, Taggart would have been coming through the middle. That would have been right on a plate for him. Well, Kubo tried to take it in his stride, just couldn't get off the ground. Not too sure how much it missed him by, whether he would have reached it anyway. Just didn't seem to leap at all. Lovely ball in, pace, whip, curl. It's a good job he didn't strike his arm, because he could well have picked up a yellow card for that at Kubo. Referee just with a wag of the finger. Rejoined Cerezo at the start of the 2021 season. Yoshito Okubo did have loans at Mallorca and at Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga earlier on in his career. Yu Ji-yu. So he spent a lot of time as a video analyst. Be interesting to see what he makes when he looks back at the video of this one and see if he can come up with something for his team to take some positives into their next match. They're going to make another change in a moment. Wu Junhiao is going to come on. Here's Riku. Now Sakamoto. Tomeda just lost his balance slightly as he tried to bring that one under control. Chen Qian Jiang. Tomeda penalised for the challenge. Played over 100 games for his last club, JF United. Hirotaka Tomeda. Here comes the change. Ruan Sai is the player going off. And 16-year-old Wu Junyao comes on, one of 5 16-year-olds in the Guangzhou squad. Good chance for some of these young players to sample a major competition. Liao Jintao. It's a solid challenge by Kubo, who felt he won the ball. He may have a point as well. The Bahrain referee was well placed. Certainly contact, but well, I don't think he did win the ball. Oh, he did get a foot on the ball, but he went straight through the player. The feet were high, which is why the free kick was given. If his feet stayed on the ground, it would have been a clean tackle, but because his feet were off the ground, that's the reason the free kick's been given. It's the captain, Kiyotake, that's coming off for Cerezo Osaka. And Motohiko Nakajima is the player that's come on. So both coaches starting to make the changes now. We've seen 3 for each already. 2 more remain. Zhang Xi with the ball in. And a rare opportunity for Guangzhou in the penalty area. It was Chan Chi Hao with the effort on goal. It wasn't too far away. Well, that would have been a turn-up had Guangzhou managed to get themselves back on level terms. That tells its story. 15 shots against the 1 for the Chinese at the moment. Kubo. Away by Chang Chiao. Had that effort a moment or so ago. Tiago. Ayumu. Okuno. Riku. Look at the difference in passing as well. Almost 3 times as many passes for the Japanese. They have controlled the game from start to finish. The only thing I think Levi Kulpe will be disappointed with was the fact that they haven't added to their tally. Adam Taggart had a couple of chances. The captain who's gone off now. Kiyotake, that wasn't too far away. Well, they're happy to shoot from distance at times. Just bent beyond that post. Wasn't too far away from Tomeda. Goalkeeper rooted to the spot. Nothing he could have done. It may have just flicked off the shin there of Chen Rijin. Harakawa to take the corner. Good ball, ran the way across, did that cross the line? It certainly has now. Tiago it was with the original header that hit the underside of the bar. My initial thought was the ball had crossed the line, so it could well be Tiago's goal. We'll see with the replay. But the ball was bundled over the line anyway. And just past the midway point of the second half, Cerezo Osaka finally have themselves a second goal. It's unfortunate for Chang Ji-hee, the goalkeeper, who's Done his level best to keep the score down, but nothing he could do. It was a bullet header from Thiago. Let's see if they head across the line. Yeah, over the line, Thiago's goal. Underside of the bar. Stabbed him from close range by, I think it was a Kubo who made sure. Ball already crossed the line now, so Thiago will claim the goal. Second goal for Cerezo Osaka. Man who spent most of his career playing in Brazil before deciding to make the move out to the east. Here's Riku. Good ball down the line by Sakamoto, who gets it back once again. This is good play, driven across, cleared away off the line. Just starting to turn the screw now, Cerezo Osaka. Brilliant play. Sakamoto's movement second to none once again. And they've got themselves another corner. Thiago, who scored a moment or so ago, has come forward once again, and again it will be Harakawa with more of the same, I should imagine. Same place, Thiago goes down, free kick's gone the other way. Well, it's another good delivery by Harakawa into the same place. Well, Chang Chi-hao had his arms around Thiago. I'm not quite sure how the free kick has managed to go the other way, but the Bahrain referee obviously had his reasons. Great stadium here, the Thunder Castle as it's affectionately known. It is called the Birmingham Stadium for the purpose of AFC competitions. There is a main sponsor name attached normally to the stadium. I quite like the Thunder Castle. I think it's conjures up a great picture. There's a foot up by Sakamoto. It's a brave header from Wu Junhiao, actually. That's the free kick. Sakamoto's been excellent, though. He has been one of the standout performers for Cerezo Osaka. Now, what can Guangzhou do here? Here's Wu Junhiao. Wang Tianqing. All the way back from Chang Chi-hao to Chang Jianqi. Good header from Ayumi, read that well. Thiago. Riku. Little flick from Harakawa. Sakamoto. His balls into the box have been excellent, trying to get round the back once again. It's headed up in the air. The goalkeeper makes the save. Guang Liang with the header up in the air, but the goalkeeper dealt with it. Chang Chi-shi. Nudge by Tomeda. So the players will come across for the drinks break in the second half. We've 16 minutes to go. Cerezo Osaka easing their way to their first 3 points in this AFC Champions League group stage. Hiroaki Okino scored the opening goal Thiago with a header got the second. This young Guangzhou side, though, have shown great determination. They've been chasing the game for long periods. They've had far less possession, just 25% possession. But it's very much a learning curve. They'll certainly feel that, no disrespect to the other two teams in the group, but on paper this is certainly the toughest fixture against Cerezo Osaka, against Port and against Kichi. They'll look to take whatever they've learned in the experience from this game into those matches. Thiago there with that headed goal off the underside of the bar. It crossed the line before bouncing out. Really was a powerful header from the Brazilian. Scored in the final J-League game, his first goal for Cerezo Osaka against Vingalta Sendai. It's a 1-1 draw for them to end the season. Only made his debut in May, round 12 of fixtures against Gamba Osaka in the big local derby, the big local rivals, of course, Cerezo and Gamba. Two teams coming out of Osaka. Haven't won the J-League. Cerezo finished third in 2017, third in 2010. Relegated in 2014, spent a couple of seasons back in J-League 2 before being promoted again, been back in the top flight since 2017. And Sakamoto trying to muscle away through, gives away the free kick though. Well, it's good to see the referee hasn't needed to get the yellow cards out so far. Nawaf Shukrala kept the game going well. Little trip there on Huang Juanliang. Cleared straight out of play again, not for the first time by Chang. Jianji. Most of these squads do have 3 goalkeepers in them, so an extra 5 players from the normal 25-man squads that are allowed for AFC competition. Sides will have a couple of days rest. All the coaches really saying that the main thing about this tournament is ensuring that the recovery time is good for the players. They've only got 2 days. They play again in 3 days' time, so 2 days to recuperate, really, that's all. I'm sure there'll be plenty of ice baths going on at the training camps to get the muscles working again. Very much sports science, of course, plays a part in these competitions these days, especially when the games do come so thick and fast. This is Wu Junqiao, Wang Tianqing, Chen Kanjian. Can they get themselves a consolation? Guangzhou. Wu Zhuhao didn't really control the header, almost hit him more than anything. Chang Jili. It's given away by Ning Hao Xu. Approaching the final 10 minutes then of the opening game in Group J. Cerezo Osaka on their 5th appearance in the AFC Champions League, looking to record just a 2nd win in 6 matches. A foul by Chang Shi-hao, who is going to become the first recipient of a yellow card from the Bahrain referee. Sakamoto, as we've said many a time, has been a real handful. Loves to run with the ball at his feet. I think it was Liao Jintao actually that got the yellow card. Chang Shi-hao was certainly in the vicinity, but Jintao, the man who got the telling trip. Might fancy their chances of a striker goal here. Motohiko, the substitute, and Marahashi with the ball. It's Motohiko, comes off the wall and goes behind for a corner. Did its job well, the wall. Another substitution here for Cerezo Osaka. Mutsuki Kato coming on. Had a youth career at Sanfrecce Hiroshima. First appearance for Cerezo Osaka as well, having been at Zuegen Kanazawa last season. Motohiko almost drops to the back. Thiago claiming a handball. Referee, who seemingly had a good view of that, waves his arm across his chest and says it's not a penalty. We'll say no VAR, of course, in the group stage, so we can't check back. We'll get the benefit of a second look, hopefully. Chen Quanjiang it was. But the appeal was against. Making another change here. Are they Guangzhou? I thought they were making a change. There's a little bit of confusion at the moment. Oh, they are making a change. Wang Jianqing is the man coming off. Wang Wenshuan is the player that has come on. It's a good ball. Wu Junhia. Nudged off the ball by Matsuki, the man who's just come on. Wu Junhia. Zhang Zhili. Kubo had to take evasive action with a challenge. That's a good ball. Motohiko. Allowed to run by Okuno. Good ball over the top. Good running by Kubo. Good experience. Cleared away by Wang Wenshuan. Kubo there in the middle, tremendous movement Throw in from Marahashi. Another ball bent forward looking for Matsuki. It was Sakamoto, the player that came off, by the way, for Matsuki. It's a nice confidence booster to get off to a win in your opening game. So especially with just the top team going through, it's important to get points on the board early and not be chasing the group at the top. We saw in the Western section sides who lost their opening games and found themselves chasing points, and it seems like Al Dahail going into the last game needing a victory to stand a chance of qualifying and not getting that victory. So despite the fact they had the Western section's top scorer within their ranks, Michael Alunga. We get our first look at Port FC from Thailand and Kit Chi from Hong Kong a little bit later on. I'm sure if they're allowed to, one or two of the coaching staff from these two teams will be sticking around to see what their next opponents have to offer. Okuno, Thiago, the two goal scorers combining. Riku, challenged by Wu Junhao. Away by Chang Chi-hao. Thiago's header. Expanded competition this year from 32 to 40 teams for the first time. It's given some new teams a chance to make their way through as well. We've got a couple of teams from the Philippines, United FC and Kaya. Tampines Rovers from Singapore as well, the first Singapore representation for 11 years in the AFC Champions League as well. Just the two games today, but tomorrow we get groups F and I. 4 games a day pretty much right through the tournament. H and G rather tomorrow, beg your pardon. Punched away by Zhang Shihai. Get to see Gamba Osaka tomorrow. Cerezo Osaka's rivals, they're in action against Tampines Rovers. We mentioned them a moment or so ago from Singapore. Two teams that played a couple of days ago as well play their second games tomorrow. Ratchaburi against Johor Darul from Malaysia and Nagoya Grampus against the Pohang Steelers. Lots of football coming up over the next few days. A few weeks, in fact. A touch of cramp. To be expected somewhat in these hot and humid conditions. It was a good block as Motohiko tried to get the shot away. Liao Jintao, the man that was booked a moment or so ago with the foul. kept clean sheets in their last 2 J-League matches. Guangzhou, in their Chinese Super League matches, rather. Guangzhou. League is suspended briefly at the moment because of the COVID issues. Chang Jinjai, the goalkeeper, just taking time to have a little bit of a breather. Beaten twice, but had a couple of saves to make. He's done pretty well with what he's had to deal with. No chance for either goal, really. That angled header from Okuno. And we'll make the change here. CHN. Here's the player coming on. Was Liao Jintao the man that's come off. They have made their 5 changes now, Guangzhou. We're into 4 minutes added time. By Chen Qinjiang. I'm sure he'll take some positives out of the way his young side have battled. They haven't been overawed by the fact that Cerezo have had the majority of the possession. They've had more shots, more passes, but they've managed to keep the score down to 2-0, although they have got a free kick to defend here in stoppage time. Chang Zili with the foul. Kuno was clever, just turned his back and almost drew the foul. Might still have a bit more work to do, the goalkeeper. Five in the wall, a couple of Cerezo players in front of that wall. They do have to be a metre away from the defensive wall these days. You can't attach yourself to the end of the wall anymore. Just creating that bit of a barrier. In it comes! Hits the crossbar from Marahashi. Well, the last time they hit the woodwork, the ball bounced down and in from Thiago's header. Now here's a chance. There's an arm across from Ayumu. And a free kick. It's a yellow card as well for the Cerezo defender. Just thought he was about to get involved in a foot race there, which would have been interesting. Fan Hengbo could have been away had he got past the defender, but well, he knew what he was doing. Ayumu. He's only 21 years of age himself, one of the younger members of this Cerezo squad. Did play 11 times in the J-League. And they create something from the free kick, Guangzhou. Deep one in, plucked out of the air by Jin Hyun, who has had too much to do across the 90 minutes. Launched long towards Tomeda, and it was, well, it's very close to being a very good ball. Just beat him into touch. Liu Jiyu will go through the film of the match, I'm sure, with his coaching staff and identify where they think they can be better in the next game. And the good thing is they only have, well, it's 3 days before they're back on the pitch again, so not too much time to dwell here. Well, referee decides that that is the full quota, and Cerezo Osaka have got their 2021 campaign off to a winning start in the group stage. That man there, Harioko Akuno, scored the opening goal 15 minutes in before the Brazilian defender Thiago headed in off the underside of the bar to make it 2-0. It was a comfortable 2-0. The Japanese dominated possession against a young and inexperienced Guangzhou side who didn't really fashion too many chances. They only had a couple of shots on goal, and I don't think they managed a single shot on target. So Cerezo Osaka in good shape as they go into their second game. It's finished Guangzhou FC 0, Cerezo Osaka 2.